is Sasha. I'm talking on behalf of Team Hope today. Who am I, though? I'm originally from South Africa, moved here when I was about 11 years old, and I'm happily married, and I obviously help out with Team Hope. Why is it important who I am? Well, I learned at a very young age that the stories that you tell about yourself are very important. Who you are and how you define yourself is very important. Why is it important how you define yourself? Well, when you define yourself, you know what you stand for. When you know what you stand for, you know what you can stand up against, you know what you can support, whether it's injustice or inequality. And so I love stories, and I love people's stories. But who are you? You guys are Generation Z, and I'm sure you've heard that said to you about 100 times. You're iGen, Gen of the computer, all sorts of different things, right? But who you are is defined by what you want, right? The media is going to say a lot of things about you. The ripple effect. That's the title of my talk today. And I'm talking to you about it because when one thing happens, it can change lives, right? So the media is going to say a lot of different things about you. And it's not always going to be good things. It's going to say things that you're a challenge for some employers. It's going to say other things. But these are messages that they're saying about you. You're in control of the messages that get said about you. You're in control of who you are as a generation. So I want to challenge you on that. What are you going to do to define your generation? What are you going to say to define your generation? Because the ripple effect is when one event or moment happens and causes many different ripples to happen throughout the world. So you can see, like a water droplet, right? Let me talk to you about one teenager who made an incredible impact on the rest of the world because of her ripple effect. Miaya Yousafzai, you may have heard of her. She grew up in the Swat Valley in Pakistan during the Taliban occupation. And when she was there, the Taliban was being quite oppressive, and there was a lot of bad stuff happening. And so she started a blog. And that was her first ripple. That was her first action. And in it, she wrote about education for women, about oppression, and this was her way of standing up for who she was, defining who she was, and making sure that her message got out. So it was just a blog. The blog was picked up by New York Times journalist Adam B. Ellick, and he decided to make a documentary about her life. And this just went viral. Everyone was very interested to see what was happening in Pakistan, was concerned about what was happening in the Swat Valley in terms of women's education and all the rest. So that was the second ripple. Unfortunately, the third ripple is not so positive. And it was going to be a video, but essentially, she got shot in the head by the Taliban. And this left her in a critical condition, and she nearly died, but she kept going. So sometimes when you stand up for things, it's hard. Sometimes when you stand up against bullying, against oppression, against injustice, it is hard. But when you've decided who you are, and when you want to make a difference for your generation, the ripples will keep going. On the back of this, the UN decided to do a petition to get all children in education by 2015. This is a 17-year-old girl, mind you. She kept talking out. She recovered, and she kept talking out against injustice and kept talking for women's education. I can see a lot of women here. How cool is that, right? Then she was nominated as co-recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. This is someone who is 17 years old. She started a blog. And look at the ripple effect that she has caused. She continues to champion the rights of women and the rights of children throughout the world. So let me just tell you a little bit about Team Hope and why I'm talking about the ripple effect in terms of them. So they have a very simple concept. How many of you at Christmas have ever done one of those shoe boxes? Shoe boxes at Christmas? Oh, wow, guys, that's awesome. It was always so much fun every year. All these little toys that you put in, and you never know where it's going to go. It's a simple concept, but it's impacted the lives of thousands around the globe. So this is Team Hope packing up their toys every year. One action, one idea. But you never know how far it's actually going to reach. This is Lindiwe. She's in Swaziland, in one of the poorest parts of Swaziland. She never gets any presents. She never gets any toys. But a family in Rathfarnham made a beautiful, beautiful shoebox and sent it to her. That's a ripple. That's a ripple that's gone across the globe. So now, what about you? Who are you? How are you going to define yourself? How are you going to decide as a generation what you stand for? Are you going to ignore all the negative press that can come out about you? Are you going to define yourself positively and go, no, I'm different. We are different. Because when you do that, you can start causing ripples. And it only takes one of you to start standing up against injustice for things to truly change. So I challenge you, Generation Z. What ripples are you going to make? Thank you very much.